Shalom, Queens and Kings of the Kingdom of God. I'm Jean-Claude Dogo from Ministries. Welcome to the Spiritual Caviar. Thank you for receiving me this Shabbat, and we're going to deal with a very special topic. If thou hast been here. This is a story, very interesting story of Jesus and the sisters of Lazarus. Let's read 3 or 4 verses, maybe 5, from John chapter 11, 1 to 21. But I don't have time to read all passage. I'll choose some verses in it. Verse 1. Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. Verse 2. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Verse 5 to 8. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that said he to his disciples, Let us go into Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again? I will jump to verse 21, and then you can read the rest. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. Do you know that you are a solution bearer? Jesus knew that. This is the reason why when he stayed 2 more days in the place where he were, it meant nothing, because he knew that he was a solution bearer. But if you don't know that you are a solution bearer, somebody will say it to you because they know that you are a solution bearer. They would come to you to say, if you were here, this and this wouldn't have happened. If you were here, this boy wouldn't have beaten your sister the way he did yesterday. In fact, when you are conscious that you are a solution bearer, you are the one who will say that, if I was here, this wouldn't have happened. Because you know that God created with a mission that you have, only you can fulfill it. And you have some capabilities, some possibilities that only you can do. Or maybe many others can do, but because it is about your family, your friends, only you can do that. If I was here, this wouldn't have happened. This is what Martha told Jesus. If thou hadst been here, Lazarus wouldn't have died. She was sure that Jesus was so mighty that he could heal Lazarus from his sickness. He could prevent Lazarus from death. But he was not there. Lazarus died. This is the reason why she said that. I'm sure that you heard many stories around maybe a school where they told you some stories about how people came to steal human beings, steal your resources from Africa. People came from Portugal, France, Spain, England, USA. I don't know how they came to colonize people. And maybe you thought, if I was a political leader at this time, this wouldn't have happened. If I was a king at this time, this wouldn't have happened. If you're an African. But if you're a European, you said, if I was a politician at this time, or if I was a religious leader at this time, this wouldn't have happened for my country. I wouldn't have accepted that my country will go and kill and steal. These are contrary to the Christian value we have and we promote. Yeah, that's good of you to think like that. But right now, in the current time we're living in, the same countries come with the same but militarized, armored ship, military ship, boats, planes, war planes, to capture the resources of African countries. What do you say? Do you talk at all, or you turn a blind eye? Now you are here. You are in Europe. And because of the slavery time, colonization time, there are some habits that are seen in Europe, in America, in the Western countries, called racism. Do you fight against racism? What do you do? Or you want to say, if I was a policeman in the US, George Floyd wouldn't have died. What do you do where you are to avoid racism? For example, just that example. This message, brethren, is a message of responsibility. If we chose to be Christians, we chose the truth. We chose to side with the truth, not darkness. This is the reason why Jesus answered his disciples who told him why he says he wants to go again in Judea when they wanted to kill him. He said, verse 9, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in a day, he stumbleth not, because he sees the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. What Jesus is saying is that as Christians, we need, or we ought to walk in the day. We ought, or we need to walk according to the truth. No matter what our government will say, we have to side with the truth. It is maybe a difficult exercise. Many have been persecuted for that. In France, a professor at the university, a Frenchman of African origin, is persecuted in his university. People are judging him because he is saying the truth about the colonial or imperialistic view of France about the Africans and the African continent. His name is Franklin Nyamsi Cameroon. They are persecuting him because of that. As a Christian, you ought to follow the truth. So, my brother, my sister, if you were there, I'm sure that this thing wouldn't have happened. Be blessed. Shalom. Letraot. Bye-bye.